Hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. Owen and Ty back after our massive, basically 2-hour long episode. Our voices have returned, and this episode a little shorter. Not going to do a mega episode this time, but still some good things on this one.
Yeah, finally saw Civil War. It was all right, and then you saw the Texas movie.
Oh,
LaRoy, Texas. A little bit of news, a little bit of upcoming movies. Not a huge episode this week, but a solid episode, I'll say.
Yeah, I'll get back into the swing of things. It'll be good. It'll be good. But as Ty said, he saw Civil War. I saw LaRoy, Texas, which we just talked about last week. But we will be doing Convince Me to See or Not for both of those. But before that, let's just hop right into the upcoming movies of this week. And actually, a pretty solid week. I'm excited for quite a handful of these. So let's kick it off with Abigail, a horror thriller. After a group of criminals kidnap a ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. So pretty decent people in this, but a limited cast. There's only 9 people in this film. You get Melissa Barria, who's in the newer Scream movies, Dan Stevens, who's Beast in the newer Beauty and the Beast, Alicia Wire, and probably the most recognizable face here is Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad. Giancarlo Esposito is also,
he's in everything these days.
Yeah, just pop him in. You need a bad dude, it's probably him.
Yeah, because he's just always going to be a solid bad guy. I think Breaking Bad just set him for life on being the bad guy.
Absolutely. He's stuck in.
There's no chance he's ever going to be like a hero in anything.
No. Yeah, even in the Gentleman TV series or Netflix series, he's in that, and he's not like a bad guy. I mean, no one's really a good guy in that show. But even that, he's kind of the antagonist.
Speaking of that show, there's still so many shows that I have on my list that I haven't even started yet. That's one of them. Chugging along through Fallout right now.
Dude, we just finished it.
Okay. I think we're on 4 or 5.
Okay.
Halfway through that. I'll definitely probably finish that this weekend. I still need to start and finish Three Body Problem. So those are all 3 pretty solid new shows to watch. If you are in need of a show to watch.
I was pleasantly surprised with Fallout.
Me too.
Big Fallout fan, but video game shows, movies, not working out great for the most part. Last of Us is probably the only exception in recent memory.
Yeah.
Halo TV show is a complete disaster.
Yeah, I never even gave that one a watch.
Not worth it. I was so excited, and then they just completely ruined it. But Fallout, kicking ass.
Yeah. Next, I just need to tackle Gears of War.
Yeah, do that right. Get Batista as Marcus. Absolutely.
I watched Dune 3 again, or Dune 2 again for the third time.
You got to the future, saw 3.
Yeah, I would love to.
Fuck yeah.
Back to Abigail, though.
Abigail. Yeah.
I think this is, I could be wrong. I think this is the Melissa Barria's first movie post getting fired from Scream, which is interesting, though, because this movie has the same director of the Scream 2022 movie and Scream 6. So she worked with him before.
Interesting.
Which it might be a 2-director deal, because I don't know, because apparently they both worked on the other ones too. I don't know.
Gotcha. Having like more than one director always feels weird, unless like they're very coherent and have the same vision for things.
Most of the time it's brothers.
Exactly.
These guys are just random guys.
You want to direct a movie? Yeah. All right, let's go. And then here we are.
But I think one is actually going to be solid, though, just given the body of work of these directors. Ready or Not was really good. And then some of the modern Scream movies have all been solid too.
Exactly. A few other folks in this. Catherine Newton. She's Cassie Lang in Ant-Man and the Wasp. She was Lucy Stevens in the Pokemon movie.
And then Catherine Newton, I don't think.
And then Angus Cloud, who he just reminds me of Mac Miller, but he's also dead. That's probably a bad
I was going to say.
That's not funny. Anyways, Angus Cloud is also in this, but you know him from Euphoria. But this is coming out with him in it, so it must have obviously been recorded a bit ago. Had to trench through that one a little rough to start this show, but I mean, what do you want me to say? He's dead. I'm sorry.
Comparing one dead white guy to another dead white guy.
Basically the same people.
Yeah.
I don't think he was heroin. I don't know.
They're both cool guys.
Right?
I'm sure they're cool. Surely, or fentanyl or something like that.
Yeah. I blame Ariana Grande. Her fault.
I mean, look what she did to Pete Davidson.
That's right.
Actually, he's kind of crushing it.
Yeah. I mean, he got pointed to Kim, and
he powered through.
What a weird dude, and I don't know how he does it, quite honestly. But
I don't think anybody does. I think it needs to be studied.
Yeah, Pete. Listen, do you just like bring up your tragedies and use that to get in with these women, or
his dad died in 9/11? We're getting really dark here. A lot of dead people. A lot of 9/11.
He likes to remind everyone
about killing Nazis.
Yeah, let's get into that. Get some Guy Ritchie in here. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, another Guy Ritchie film with Henry Cavill, Alan Richardson. Richardson, Alex Pettyfer. That's probably how you say that. And then Carrie Yules coming back again. Dr. Gordon from Saw. He's just been getting popped into a lot of things now. And this is not his first Guy Ritchie movie either. I think he was in that
Operation Fortune, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure.
Is he in that one? I think so.
Let's see here. Had to be. Yeah. Yep. Operation Fortune.
That movie was solid. I mean, I'm always going to see a Guy Ritchie movie, so.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for this one. This one is getting a lot of comps to Inglourious Bastards for obvious reasons.
Okay.
Ever since I saw the trailer for this like months ago, I was like, yep, immediately, yep. But I haven't, like, I think I've only seen like the teaser. I haven't seen like the full trailer, so I'm happy. I'm going into it relatively blind.
I've been doing that.
Yeah, me too.
For most things now. It's like I don't do trailers because so often now trailers will just show you the best parts of the movie.
Exactly.
Which, makes sense, get people interested, but then like you already know the peak of the film.
Yeah, and a lot of the times we talk about it on here anyway, so we're gonna either read a synopsis or I'll see it on like Twitter or something like that.
Speaking of synopsises, this one is the British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers who strike against German forces behind enemy lines during World War II. So pretty generic description there, but knowing Guy Ritchie, this will be anything but.
Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson too, just two perfect dudes for this movie, I feel like.
Just some fucking men.
Yeah, big old men. It makes me wonder though, what would have, how differently the world would have been if Adam Sandler played the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards.
Dude, I think about that a lot. And I would have been so happy. You see the deep fake?
No.
Someone deep faked Adam Sandler's face onto it and also had him do like his voice, some voice clips in there.
Oh my God, that's great.
It was one of the best things I've ever seen.
That is awesome. I'm looking that up immediately after we're done.
Next movie here called Hard Miles, currently sitting at a decently high rating on IMDb, 8.6 out of 10, but we know that won't last. Usually when the full release comes, the reviews come in, and 8.6, that's a high rating to keep up.
That is high.
But this is a prison social worker assembles a cycling team of teenage convicts and takes them on a transformative 1,000-mile ride, inspired by the life of Greg Townsend and Ridgeview Academy cycling team. So apparently a true story with none other than Sean Austin, old Sam from Lord of the Rings,
Samwise Gamgee,
Mikey from the Goonies, and my personal favorite, Doug from 50 First Dates.
Doug.
That is what I will always recognize him as first. A few other people in this. You get old Stanley the Manly from The Office in here, Leslie David Baker. And then I recognize this kid for some reason. And looking at his filmography, I don't know why. And maybe I'm probably thinking of somebody else, but Jackson Kelly seems to be the main child in this. And I call him a child. He's probably like still 17, 18. But he was in the Chucky TV series.
I think he looks like the girl that plays like X-23 in Logan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I gotta look. Logan.
That's so very like distinct. I don't know.
Very specific. Let's see here. All right, Logan. Where's the girl? Yeah. It has like that longer neck.
Yeah.
Just cut her hair, make her a little taller. All right, she just grew up. X-24 now.
Speaking of X-23, have you been playing Marvel Snap?
I have been, and I've been stuck with like the same deck forever.
I kind of fell off on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the new Hearthstone expansion came out, and I was like, I hadn't played that in months.
Right.
This new expansion though, it dives into like it kind of like remakes classic cards. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Played that for about a week and a half and gave back up on it. I downloaded Fallout Shelter after watching Fallout, and I played that for all of about 15 minutes, and I was like, nope, and then I deleted it.
Dude, I'm in the trenches in that one. When it first came out, it was nonstop bad, stuck in it, and now completely started over. There's like a hardcore mode now, so I've been doing that where like if your people die, that's it, they're dead.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun.
That's
definitely way harder.
Oh, I'm sure.
Director and writer here, RJ Daniel Hanna, whatever the hell you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter. I don't respect him enough to get it correct because he hasn't done anything. So that, again, we bring it up a lot. It makes me worry when you get a newer face to the scene.
He's got a lot of editing credits.
Yeah.
And everything he's edited I've never heard of it.
But how many music videos?
That's a great question.
As we know, the more the better.
I'm seeing a lot of shorts here, TV series, short. I don't know. It makes me wonder how people like this get directing roles, but maybe he can just edit the shit out of movies.
Could be. I mean, I guess you figure everyone has to start from somewhere, but it just always feels weird when they have zero background. But then again, people with zero background get to direct like brand new Star Wars movies. So that's something we'll have to talk about eventually, which I'm pretty done with Star Wars, quite honestly.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I'm almost done with Marvel too, and that's crazy because I'm a Marvel guy. The only thing I said it last week, only thing I'm excited for, and I'm not even that excited for Deadpool or the Fantastic Four, and that's like fucking years away from now.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Need more originality.
Agreed.
Next one here, we get Blood for Dust. Cliff, a traveling salesman drowning under the weight of providing for his family in the myth of the American dream, finds himself on a dangerous path after a chance encounter with Ricky, a colleague from a dark past. So a lot of people in this one. Josh Lucas is a face you will recognize, maybe not so much the name, but he was Leo in Ford versus Ferrari. He's young John Dutton in Yellowstone. But if you look through, he's in quite a few things, and he's always just kind of a secondary character. I can't even call him a background character because he's usually involved. It's just like he's not the main guy.
Okay.
But for me, it'll always be Adult Walter in Secondhand Lions, one of my favorite movies growing up to watch with my grandpa. Nice. Fantastic movie. You ever seen that one?
I don't think I have.
That's a good one. It's about a kid. It's this oh shit, what's his name? The kid from I See Dead People.
Haley Joel Osment?
Yes, it is him.
Bang.
And he basically gets dropped off with his two uncles, who is Michael Caine and Tom. Oh man, now I gotta look it up. From The Godfather. Tom? Nope. Sure. His name's Tom in The Godfather. Robert Duvall is his real name.
Okay. I gotcha.
So they're his uncles and supposedly have like a bunch of money hidden away that they stole from like a sheik in the African desert or something. And so his mom wants him to get like close with them. So when they die, he gets all the money. It's kind of fucked up, but it's a super good movie. Very good movie.
Okay, sweet.
But Blood for Dust, yet up in the air if it's a good movie. But Josh Lucas in it, Kit Harington.
With a hell of a Fu Manchu here.
Yes, very protruding.
They were like, we don't want you to look anything like Jon Snow at all.
No, you cannot reference him ever again.
Throw on a bomber jacket, a white beater underneath it, some blue jeans, and grow that Fu Manchu out, brother.
Yeah, you're American now. Then you get Ethan. I always want to say Slurpee, but Supley, who of course is the big man Louis Lastic from Remember the Titans, which he's also fucking jacked now. Have you seen him recently?
Oh, he's gigantic.
Huge.
Not in the bad way. He's just ripped out to shreds.
So he is in this as well. The director and writer is Rod Blackhurst, who did Amanda Knox on Netflix. Night Swim. He wrote Night Swim, so that's not great. And then Here Alone, which I do not know that one.
This also has the classic poster, whatever, with all the film festivals that it was on.
Oh yes, of course. That's always a great
film festival. People like they think people are gonna see it and be like, oh, okay, it's been at a film festival. Yeah. Most of the stuff at film festivals isn't great.
Yeah, there's a reason they're there.
Yeah,
like the only reason they are screening the movie there is to see how it performs, so they know if they should market it more and release it further.
See if anybody will actually buy that shit.
Yeah. Last one here, Netflix movie, one that no one really cared about the first part, but Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, Zack Snyder here again, probably gonna say, yeah, well, if they didn't cut it down, my cut, the director's cut, would have been really, really good.
I'm just so over his antics. It's just like, make a movie good the first time around, or just don't fucking make movies.
Why you fuck around so much?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I still haven't seen the first one. I'm probably not gonna. This one's probably gonna be just as awful.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, if you're gonna have a two-part film and the first part sucks, why would they care about the second part?
I think I read today actually somewhere that he said he could have as many as 6 Rebel Moon movies. It's like, dude, they're not gonna let you make 6 of these.
No one cares. Zack Snyder's a nut job.
He really is out there. I didn't listen to his episode of Rogan, but I want to just to see like his thought process.
He's like, yeah, man, I just think movies should be 8 hours long and 4
Every
of them.
single movie, they take it from me.
No matter what. It's their fault. They made me cut it down, but the Snyder cut's always going to be better.
Yeah. Like how many has he Snyder cut now? I know it was Justice League. Wasn't there another one he Snyder cut?
I honestly don't know. I just like the meme of everything he makes has to be a Snyder cut.
It is really funny now. I think it is. Just, some of it might be meme. Some of it is, most of it's true though.
Yeah. I mean, I will give him that the Snyder cut Justice League was way better.
Agreed. But now he's just using it as a scapegoat to just be like, oh, if they would let me release the Snyder cut of this movie, it'll be better too.
Yeah, we let him get away with it one time and now he's just going to keep doing it.
It's probably because he has all that extra footage and he waits to see if people say anything that he might have footage of that they wanted to see in the movie, and then he just goes and pastes it in.
Oh, I know you hated this ending. I recorded 14 other ones, so maybe one of those will be good. good.
Maybe that's maybe that's the key to good filmmaking, is just actually shooting way more than you need.
So I had an idea a while back, and I don't remember what movie I saw to make me think of this, but I thought it would be fun to take a movie and have 90% of it be the same.
Okay.
But the ending completely different in, spread it out in different movie theaters. Like it could be by state, by country, something like that, but make it different. So when people come out and talk about it, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That wasn't the ending. And then just make everyone think they're crazy.
I love that. I think that needs to be done. I think, wasn't it like Across the Spider-Verse or something like that, where in some theaters they had a different shot or something like that?
I don't know.
It was something along those lines. Something like that took place, but that would be great. Just alternate endings in different theaters. That would be really cool.
Netflix has tried shit like that. Like the Black Mirror, where you can like choose how it goes.
Yeah.
That kind of did it, but it's like it all kind of ends up basically the same thing. And then they did that other show where I think it was like 6 episodes, but you can watch it in any order and it will always make sense.
That's nuts. That's
kind of neat. That's kind of neat. But the way they do it, you just have to make the beginning and the end so generic that they work together. It was kind of the problem with that. This, I'm just saying, like, straight up. Fuck it. Even in the same movie theater, have like 4 different versions, and it's a roulette of who gets what. I think that'd be funny as hell.
That is awesome.
So, then just to fuck with people.
That would just get people talking like crazy.
Yeah. And then what's the real ending? You'll never know.
You'll never know.
I'll
what are you
die
talking about? There was only one ending the whole time, and then just make everybody think they Mandela effect.
Yeah, they're like, it's the same movie. What are you talking about?
It's Bernstein Bears.
Yeah. Oh, that one still fucks with me.
It really does. Yeah, it's crazy. And the cornucopia, Fruit of the Loom cornucopia. It's mind-blowing.
That's true. But Ty, that's all I got here for upcoming movies. Not nearly as much as last week, but hey, it's not a mega episode.
Yeah, same goes for the news here. We got a little bit, but not as much as the mega episode. Which from here on out, I think we just have to assume or call that one the mega episode. But first thing here, it's about Quentin Tarantino's 10th film, The Movie Critic. It's no longer going to be his 10th film. He simply changed his mind, apparently. He was going to have Brad Pitt be the star, and it would have been their 3rd time teaming up after Inglourious Basterds and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There were rumors that many people from all of his past movies might take some kind of part in this as well, and Sony was getting ready to make and distribute the film, but apparently after Tarantino had rewritten the script, which had been delayed and started delayed production, he just had a change of heart. He decided this is not going to be his 10th film anymore, and he's going back to the drawing board to figure out what he is going to make as his 10th film. So that's kind of crazy, because I feel like we've been talking about this one since we first heard that it was going to be this movie as his 10th film.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I saw something like that come up on TikTok, and a lot of the movie shit I see on TikTok I completely ignore because everyone's just a liar. And I honestly didn't believe this one until you're telling me it now, Ty. So now I'm sad.
Yeah, it really does suck because it sounds like a really good movie, or I wouldn't say really good. It sounds interesting enough. It's not on the same scale, I would say, as like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, sure, but it's a Tarantino movie. We wanted to see that, but maybe now he'll cook up some crazier idea. Next thing here, we're getting a Martin Scorsese Frank Sinatra movie. He's reviving his long-planned Frank Sinatra biopic with Leonardo DiCaprio starring as Frank Sinatra. Apparently, Jennifer Lawrence also is going to co-star as Ava Gardner, who I think is Frank Sinatra's second wife. Planning to start filming directly after completing and shooting his Jesus film. It's so funny. Every we see it is just his Jesus film, which is based on a book by a Japanese writer, his Jesus film, which I also just saw that either Miles Teller or Andrew Garfield is going to play Jesus. So cool. But apparently he has not yet secured the rights or approval from Sinatra's daughter, who controls Frank Sinatra's music and image rights. And apparently she gave him trouble with the first attempt at making a Sinatra movie. It was in 2009, and DiCaprio was going to play the lead, but then he also planned to have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro play Sinatra, and then the Rat Pack members like Dean Martin and stuff. It was going to be crazy, and but she shut it down because he wanted to have like it more about like his grit and his violence and his like organized gang connections. And she was like, no, we're just going to focus on the music in his life. We're not going to do that. So I'm sure she's not going to change her outlook this time around, but we'll see. I think that'd be cool. I like Frank Sinatra. I like Martin Scorsese, so we'll see what happens, I guess, with that. A couple more things here. This one's kind of random. Pamela Anderson is joining Liam Neeson in Paramount's new Naked Gun movie. So this one is gonna be sorry, Tay just texted me. They text me, something smells like cat piss. We don't have a cat.
Do you?
No cat. I don't know what's going on there. Completely just lost me in my train of thought. Pam Anderson. So Pamela Anderson is joining Liam Neeson here.
That's good. That's something you got to go look for now.
Apparently there's a cat in the house. I don't know. Pamela Anderson is joining Liam Neeson in Paramount's new Naked Gun movie. Akiva Schaffer from The Lonely Island is directing and executive producing, and it's going to be coming out in July 2025. Everybody knows Pam Anderson from a lot of her movies, we'll say, but she was most known for Baywatch, and then
Tommy Lee.
Yes, right, that one.
Also being on a boat.
She was also in Scary Movie 3, though, and Superhero Movie, which are also kind of like Naked Gun-esque funny movies. And then she also was in the remake of Baywatch as well. So I don't know if that was her last role or not. I don't keep up to date with Pam Anderson too much, but in the 1990s, the Naked Gun trilogy racked up over $216 million at the box office. So maybe this one is going to, I mean, I'm sure this one's not going to do nearly that much money, but it might be funny. We'll see. Pam Anderson and Liam Neeson. What a combo. A couple more things here yet again. We have Keanu Reeves, this time in Sonic 3. He's going to be voicing the popular character Shadow the Hedgehog. Apparently, studio debuted a bunch of footage for Sonic 3 at CinemaCon, and apparently, I didn't see the first one or the second one, so this is all news to me, but the footage shown included that Dr. Robotnik, who's played by Jim Carrey, was depressed and out of shape after the events of Sonic 2, but gets his groove back thanks to creating Shadow the Hedgehog. So, sounds great. It's really funny, though, that Keanu Reeves is playing Shadow the edgy hedgehog. Last thing here, we're getting a Chris Farley biopic. I can't remember if I mentioned this before or if we heard about it before, but a film about the life of legendary comedian Chris Farley is reportedly in the works, with Paul Walter Hauser signed on to star and Josh Gad making his directorial debut, which is random. Josh Gad, random as shit.
Yeah.
Stories being adapted from the New York Times bestseller, The Chris Farley Show, a biography in 3 acts, a book that was written by his older brother that chronicled his life with stories of his family and friends. Apparently, the Farley family has given their blessing for the film adaptation, and it's being shopped around Hollywood. Nobody is yet planned to distribute it, but I'm sure.
You can't tell me it won't be Happy Madison.
Right, like surely.
Like
and
how?
Apparently, Lorne Michaels is producing the product. So right there,
okay.
I mean, it's like a match made in heaven for Happy Madison or something like that. Paul Walter Hauser, though, great. I think he'd be a great Farley.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. He's just silly. He does that little. He sounds like Carl from Jimmy Neutron in the Blackbird Show. He's like, hey, Jimmy. And funny enough, the guy's name is also Jimmy, so it's fantastic. And then he's Stingray and Cobra Kai. Like he's dynamic. He really is.
I know he's in a few I Think You Should Leave sketches too, and he's always the one. He's like mad at a guy. He's in a play and he's mad at a guy named Jamie Taco for stealing all of his lines. It's so funny. But that's the last bit of news there for the week. Not a ton this week.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I feel like I might have said this on this show before, but I really do believe that like if Farley were still around, I don't think Kevin James would be as popular as he is.
You're 100% right. I love that take.
Yeah, and I also heard Kevin James is kind of a dick. So
you fuck him.
Fuck him. I don't know him personally, but
I'm gonna go ahead and take a hard stance against Kevin James on this podcast.
Yeah, fuck him. He was on Rogan the other day. He's like, yeah, I went for some days not eating food. I'm like, yeah, okay. I only drank water with a little bit of salt. I'm like, bro, shut up.
All right, Chuck and Larry, whichever one you are. We don't want to hear it.
Whoever you are, go get on your little scooter, roll around.
If it wasn't for Paul Blart, I would think nobody would even give a shit about Kevin James.
Yeah, fuck, all copping it. Didn't he had that MMA movie where he was kind of like Frankie Edgar, being like a cop, or not a cop, a teacher that went to go fight? Is it?
Yeah. I remember that. It's called like Bring the Pain or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would definitely be like, it had to have come out in like 2009 or 2010, like right when UFC was blowing up. So funny. I'm sure it was terrible.
Yeah, can't be good. They're like, yeah, he really got in shape for this. I'm like, what? No, he didn't. Look at him. All right, our show is anti Kevin James.
From here on out.
We have decided, fuck him. All right, I'll kick it off here for the Convince Me to See or Not with LaRoy, Texas. We talked about it a bit last week. A little bit of an under the radar movie here, but when Ray discovers that his wife is cheating on him, he decides he's going to kill himself. His plans suddenly change when a stranger mistakes him for a low rent hitman. We talked about this a bit last week, and it came out streaming. I think a few days. Actually, no, it came out streaming right at the end of us recording the last episode.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you texted me.
So watch it last night. So fresh in my mind. It was not what I expected at all.
Okay.
So I did expect. Oh, what's his name? Steve Zahn to be the guy, like the main guy, and he was not. It was Josh John Magaro, who is just a boring character, which is the point. He's supposed to be. But it's a lot more than just like, oh, this dude's about to kill himself. It might be fun to be a contract killer. And it doesn't go down that path. Like, it's just like a one-time gig. And the problem I had with it, and the problem I have with any movie that does something like this, it's usually horror movies that do it, where they try to be horror or and comedy, and it doesn't work out. This tried to be like a drama thriller and a comedy, and it didn't work out.
That's too much.
So it was a shame because Steve Zahn is absolutely funny, and
I love Steve Zahn. He's actually really funny.
So he looks so much like that other guy, White Lotus, or no, you know what? Boardwalk Empire will have it.
I was gonna say Steve Zahn is in White Lotus.
Okay, well there it is. I already fucked up. So Shea Wiggum and Steve Zahn, look them both up right now. They look exactly the fucking same.
What's his name? Shane Wiggum?
Shea, Shea.
Okay.
Wig, Whigham.
Wow.
These are two different people.
Wow.
And I always get them mixed up. They are in no way related at all. Shea Wiggum does more like serious type roles.
Oh yeah, he was in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. He was in Boardwalk Empire with Steve Buscemi. He was apparently in Spider-Man as George Stacy. Waco, The Aftermath. So like he does the more like serious roles. But you can't tell me this dude doesn't just like style his hair slightly different and become Steve Zahn.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Some of these pictures are like dead on.
And both of them, let me make sure I'm right. Yes, both of them are in the Righteous Gemstones.
No way.
And it confused the absolute piss out of me. And I'm like, oh, that's just that same guy. He's just put on a wig, because Shea Wiggum plays Dusty Daniels, the like NASCAR guy.
Okay.
And Steve Zahn plays Peter Montgomery. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. They just have that same guy playing two people. Two different people. Confused the hell out of me.
I'm also looking at Steve Zahn's IMDb right now, and it's so funny. He's known for War for the Planet of the Apes, where he played Bad Ape.
Yeah, he's just Bad Ape.
That's so funny.
Isn't that kind of all of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole point of the movies, that they are bad apes because they fucked everything up.
Yeah, good job, James Franco.
Way to go,
idiot. But anyways, that's what they try to do. So like, I think if they would have leaned into either one, like if they would have leaned into it being a straight comedy, it would have been pretty good. If they would have leaned into it being just a drama thriller, it would have been pretty good. Like make it a little bit more gritty. They tried to do both, and it didn't work out at all, because from scene to scene, it goes from being, okay, Steve Zahn's in this scene, it's going to be funny. He's going to say stupid shit and you're going to laugh. And then it cuts to another scene where it's like, oh, this dude's a loser. His wife's cheating on him. Oh, he's going to kill himself. And like, it's not in a funny way. Like, man, this episode is dark. Like sometimes in comedy movies, they can make killing yourself seem funny. This was not funny at all. This was just sad and depressing. And like, again, if they would have chose one or the other, it would have been better. Either way, it didn't matter which way they were going to go with it, but they did both. That, and then on top of like the story is a bit convoluted. There's just a lot of moving parts, but none of them really matter with each other too much.
Okay.
It just kind of throws off the vibe. So for a while I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's good enough. I was thinking the ending was gonna go a little differently, and then it didn't. It went way more generic. So that lowered my rating. I ended up at a 4 out of a 10, sadly.
4? Okay.
I was at a 5 for, like I said, 90% of the movie, but then the end, I'm like, okay, if this goes this way, I'm done. I'm not doing it. But it's a shame, because I really do think there was a lot. They just didn't do it.
It's really like interesting premise for a movie. It's like unique.
Yeah.
And it just sucks they didn't nail it. If they would have been able to just kind of nail it, it would have been like, it could have been a sleeper, it sounds like, but they fumbled it too much, and they tried to
I think they could make a Snyder cut. Bring him in, get the Snyder cut, and like if they edited it differently, like put the scenes in maybe a different order and turn it into a full comedy, put some silly music behind it at times, it probably would have been pretty damn good. It gets you interested from the beginning, but by no means does it start out funny.
Damn.
I went in on, I was thinking it was just going to be funny the whole way through, and it was not. It was just it was sad.
Did we get any laugh out loud moments?
Yeah, actually, yes. Like there's a couple.
Okay.
Because Steve Zahn's great. He's fantastic.
I was going to say, the trailer shot I'm seeing right here on IMDb where it looks like Steve Zahn is yelling in front of a toilet, it looks hilarious.
Yeah, he drowns a guy 3 times while trying to interrogate him. And you're like, I'm not going to drown him. And then he does. And they have to revive him a bunch of times. And it was hilarious. It was but that vibe did not stay throughout the whole movie. So I really do wish they would have made it a full comedy, because I think it would have been great. Like probably like in the 8 range. You know, if they would have had it be just funny, silly, stupid, it would have been really good. So who knows? I think this Shane Atkinson guy, the writer director, I think he's still early in his career. Yeah, he hasn't done really anything. So that's what what we talk about when we're saying, you know, this person hasn't done much. This is what you worry about. So he has, not that I'm some fucking expert, but like, it feels like this dude has potential. He just needs to like figure out what direction he wants to go with things. It feels like he got scared to go too much into like the comedy, and he just stayed right in the middle, and it sucked.
Okay, so what do you think? Does it get the stamp of watch or don't watch?
I think it's worth watching still, sadly. I think some folks might have a different opinion than me. But for myself, I don't like movies that can't decide what they are. It's like, hey, go this direction or go a different one. I can't do both. You really have to do a good job at getting both. Like, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a pretty good example of doing both, because they absolutely have comedic scenes. But if you look back at Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, how dramatic and sad a lot of the storytelling was. But at the same time, you're laughing throughout the movie, and it feels coherent. Like it blends together very well. This is very choppy, and scene from scene, you don't know if you're going to be like cracking up or like really depressed to even see such a thing.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add it to the list. Maybe I'll watch it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, throw it on. It's short. Hour 52 isn't horrible.
No.
And it never feels long or anything. Like you stay interested. It's just like, okay, why are we flip flopping so much between making me laugh and making me sad?
Yeah, pick a lane and stay in it if you can't nail both lanes.
Yeah, Kevin James.
Welcome. So that'll lead me into our last one here, and that's Civil War. We talked about it a little bit last week, so I'm not going to go crazy into who's all starring and all that, but from the trailers right away, I thought that we knew what we'd be getting with this one. I figured it would be a straightforward modern take, kind of like a gritty Civil War movie, and that wasn't really the case. Instead, we kind of get a drama about three photographers who pretty much just take pictures during the war. So we should have known with A24 being attached, they would have a little bit more of a story than just a straight up Civil War. But I feel a little bit bait and switched by the trailer, honestly, because in the synopsis, which is a journey across dystopian future America following a team of military embedded journalists as they race against time to reach DC before rebel factions descend upon the White House. We're pretty much just okay, I might be getting ahead of myself here. Let's wait. Directed by Alex Garland, who we mentioned last week. He's done a couple good films. This one's starring Kirsten Dunst, which switch that I and the R around. Make it Kristen or something. What are we doing with Kirsten? The guy named Wagner Mora, who's basically just Pedro Pascal. He's just budget Pedro Pascal. A girl named Kaylee Spaney, and then Stephen McGinley Henderson, who you'd recognize from like a bunch of random stuff. He was in Dune. He's been in all kinds of stuff. And surprisingly, it's not starring the Plem Dog, who in the trailer also leads us to believe he would have a bigger role. He might be in the movie for 10 minutes or less. And apparently he joined the cast like a couple days before the movie was supposed to be shot because the original actor dropped out. And Kirsten Dunst was like, hey,
bring him in.
Plem Dog is my husband, Alex Garland. Let's bring him in. And they did. That's actually what happened. But it did gross $26 million domestically on its opening weekend, which is more than any A24 film in its opening weekend, it passed Hereditary, which had the top spot at 14 mil. It's also the first A24 film to open #1 at the box office, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Whenever you think about their filmography there. Currently, it's at a 7.6 on IMDb. It's 82% certified fresh, and it's got a 77% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So a little bit of a discrepancy there with critics and audiences. Not a ton. It starts off, to me, a little bit boring in the beginning, though, and it does pick up pretty quickly. But like I said, I was expecting something more like a gritty, like contemporary war movie. But that's not the case. We follow 3-4 or so just war photographers who pretty much just run alongside and run into legit war gunfights and just take pictures of it all. And they wear like a helmet and a vest that says press, so nobody shoots them. It's a little hard to suspend disbelief, actually. So that kind of threw me off there. But it was cool. We do get like a Steelers and a Pittsburgh reference, so I always give bonus points for that.
Okay.
I will say it did feel a little bit long. It's only about an hour and 49. I was like, oh damn, it felt long for that. I was like, holy shit. I didn't love a lot of the character progression of a specific character. I don't want to dive too specifically into it here, but one character goes from being scared of being in any battle or anything and taking pictures to literally storming the White House along with military and just taking pictures of it all. So I mean, I'll say I liked it, but I expected something entirely different. It's nice in a way that it's a different take on it. It stands out in that way, and it also, which it doesn't make you pick a political side here. So it's not just like red or blue, like that's the Civil War. Everybody thinks that's a war, whatever. So we're not going to get any bullshit like articles about, oh, which side are you on from this movie? Nope. So it does a good job in that, not mentioning politics and shit. But it's just hard to suspend disbelief in some parts with it. Kind of just, it's worth a watch. I ended up with a 6.5 on it. I thought I was going to like it quite a bit more, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I remember this was one of the first trailers I saw in a theater in a lot. I saw The Iron Claw, and we were both excited for this one. And they like featured Plum Dog a shit ton in the trailer, it felt like, and he's not in it.
No, like honestly, if you see this movie compared to the trailer, you see like a different movie.
Interesting.
It's weird. I don't know. It's so weird. Just you follow these photographers as they run into like gunfights, and nobody shoots them at all in a civil war where there's really like no side. You're kind of just fighting. They just don't get shot or fucked with because they're pressed. There's literally a scene where they're just like conversing with people in the middle of a battle, like a middle of like a dog fight, and they're just chilling. They're like, so like, what's going on here? And the guy's like, we're sitting in a field. Nobody knows who the other guy is, but he's shooting us, so we're gonna shoot him. Nobody knows what side he's on. It's crazy.
I mean, if that works, why doesn't everyone just wear press vests and walk over to the enemy line?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense right there. That just puts a whole nail. I'm honestly about to drop my score for that exact same fucking reason, honestly.
Yeah. It sounds like, so I think I brought it up last week, but that feels like the problem I have with Garland every single time is the premise is so neat, but it's poorly executed.
Yeah, and this one, it's not even like it's a crazy wild premise. It's a civil war, which is, I mean, cool, sure. But I guess the way he did spin it though is like unique, doing the press or whatever, but it's just it's not what I expected. I don't know. Okay. It's tough. Yeah. I'd recommend watching it though. It's probably worth a watch.
Yeah, it feels like both of these movies are in the same boat of like, give it a watch. You might like it. Yeah. Rather than, oh no, definitely don't see this, or oh yeah, check this one out. So kind of middle of the road here for both of these. It sounds like. But. Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what I can compare it to for what I got about in the same range. I liked it about as much as I liked Immaculate, which I had at a 6. Roadhouse, which was a 6.3. So it's right there with like those movies. Yeah, it's okay, but it didn't blow me away.
I had to look up Wagner Aurora because you said discount Pedro Pascal, and I didn't realize he's Pablo Escobar in Narcos. Which,
really?
Pedro is also in.
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought that was Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, it's both of them. Pedro's the cop.
Okay,
and he's old Pablo, which he's way fatter in that. They must have fattened him up because he is not fat in real life. Yeah, they did. They just kind of like gave him belly. Awesome. But when you brought up discount Pedro Pascal, it sparked my memory for LaRoy. I get Walmart Matthew McConaughey in that movie. What the hell was his name? Matthew Del Negro. He's just discount Matthew McConaughey, or Walmart, I should say, because discount's not a bad thing. Walmart has a little bit more of a sting to the name, but yeah, he was just
so right about this guy.
He was just trying to be him. Also, he's apparently Brian. How do you even say that name? Camarata in The Sopranos, which I don't remember him at all.
It's almost, I was like almost be willing to bet that every week, if we go through more than like a couple movies, someone in one of those casts has been in The Sopranos.
Everyone's
yeah, it's just because everybody's in The Sopranos.
Man, I might have to do a rewatch.
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, it's about time. But for Civil War, Ty, I should watch it. It sounds like, and then just kind of hope for the best.
I do think you should watch it because I'm curious to see what you think. I think you might like it just as much as I did, maybe less.
Okay,
maybe more. But
it's funny you bring that up because normally I brought it up last year. I'm normally the downer on the movies. So far this year, Ty, on average, I have an average going on our spreadsheet here. I have a higher rating for movies than you. I don't think that's ever been the case currently, and neither one are good. But my current average rating is 5.89. Yours is 5.26. So you've been dogging on some people.
Yeah, like let's see. I'm gonna look and see. So yeah, like Argyle 3.5, Damsel 2.5, like Kong 4, First I Went 4, Blood and Honey 4. A lot of 4s. Drugstore June gets a 1, so that was tough. Madam Web 1.5. That's really skewing the numbers too. But I've seen a lot of just middle of the road, like not crap but not great movies.
You've been taking the brunt of it for sure.
I really have. And I think I'm trying to be a little bit more tougher this year with my movies. I think last year I was willing to give out a little 7 or 8 too easy every now and then.
We're a year into this. We're professional. We can be critics now.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why whenever I go see Sasquatch Sunset or whatever the hell that was, I'm gonna look more critically at it.
Yeah, you Sasquatch is fucking. That.
I don't know if I can. Really I don't know if I have the patience to see that movie. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. It sounds like a wild movie. I like Sasquatch." But now I'm like, I don't know if I have the patience to sit in an hour and whatever long movie of just Sasquatches grunting.
You just gotta do the old buy one movie ticket to an earlier showing that ends right before Sasquatch starts, and then just walk in.
I should do that
because no one's gonna be in there
so damn much. Especially the time I go to the movies. I usually go I'll go at 3:00 right after work, or I'll go early on a Saturday or Sunday. Nobody's ever there checking tickets. Yeah. I could do whatever I could do whatever the fuck. I could go make myself a hot dog.
Just walk back. What's up? Hey, Ty.
Yeah.
They just know you. Oh, speaking of which, do you still do South Pike even though you moved?
I'm trying to think. Have I done it lately? It's still close to work, so it is convenient.
Okay.
And if I do travel to my parents on the weekend, I do go through that way. But I don't think I've seen one. I've been doing a lot of like Waterworks, which is kind of now my like home theater.
Yeah,
Waterworks
is good.
And then lately I've seen so many at Waterfront, like going out at the AMC, like
always
my
favorite.
I'm trying to think. Where did I see? I think I saw Civil War at Waterfront. I saw First Home at Waterworks. No, I saw Waterworks. Yeah, I've been at the Waterfront though quite a bit.
Waterfront's a good time in general.
Yeah, it's gigantic. It would be so much cooler if like back in the day going to that theater, because it's got like 20 cinemas in it.
Yeah, that's where my dad would always take us, because we do like Dave and Buster's and then a movie.
It would probably just have been like
a child.
So busy for like a Star Wars movie back in the day or something like that.
We would see the Matrix movies there because they had IMAX.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't think they have IMAX now.
They might.
They might. Yeah.
A lot of the quote unquote IMAXs at theaters though are like Limax or whatever. Have you seen that? Have we talked about that?
We have talked about that because I have a real one in San Antonio.
Thought so. God damn it.
I guess there's also a real one like on UT's campus or something. I don't know. Something like that. Matthew McConaughey probably wanted it.
Whenever the Mills Mall used to claim they had an IMAX, there's no way it was a fucking IMAX.
They also had the D-box bullshit too.
We're most uncomfortable seats of all time.
It's a plastic
not
chair
worth
that
the crap vibration
punches you in the back like a Brookstone massager.
Yeah.
Ty, I think that'll end it here.
I think that'll do it.
All right, so
we always think it's going to be a shorter episode, and then we always end up still doing at least an hour.
Yeah, what we got what's it say here? 55 minutes according to the old Craigie, and
Bang.
then edit it down a little bit, probably lose a minute or two.
Yeah.
Immaculate's out there streaming, Ty. Should I watch that?
Yeah, watch that one. It's good.
I will give that a go.
It's good enough. Yeah, it's like about a 6-7. So it's in the squeeze in it. So.
That is true. I feel like I might be deceived like I was last time, but that's okay.
I feel like there's like a little bit of like
a married man now, so I can't be.
That's true. If they listen to this deep in the podcast, though, they